Welcome to the A Train Show. And now here's your host, the A Train, Arlington Lane.
Welcome to this edition of the A Train Show, the A Train Arlington Lane. I like how my music just stopped in the middle of all of that. It is a fun fan Friday here on the A Train Show. Coming up on the program, joining me once again, Robert L. Bailey Jr. Excuse me. Let me say that slowly so everybody that can hear me say this correctly. Robert L. Bailey Jr. will be joining me on the show. Once again, fresh off his appearance on Monday, we're going to recap the NBA Finals back in Game 1. And we'll get his thoughts a bit on what's occurred in the latest in wrestling because, you know, we both love the sport. And NBC getting 100 NBA games coming up. 2025. What does that mean for TNT? I just want to play a little game with that and have some fun with that scenario. I appreciate that. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Hey, folks, if you are tuning in right now on YouTube, you're tuning in on Facebook, you're tuning in on Twitter, make sure that you share this show to your friends and we can have a ball with all of you guys here at the show today. But make sure if you don't do that, you can always go fuelsportsnetwork.com. We are live as always there, and you can always catch it on your Roku TV, your Amazon TVs, and your Amazon Fire Sticks. All right. Before I begin, today is June the 7th. Yesterday was the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Very historical, especially during the time of World War II. I don't want to get too much into that. But thank you to those for your service. You know, many of them may not be alive today, but definitely want to reach to the heavens and say thank you for all what you've been able to do, especially for this country. All right. Another nugget today, I spoke about it at the beginning of the week, and I spoke about it a little bit last week, that this was the final week of Wheel of Fortune with Pat Sajak. But I want to give y'all a little bit of a treat for you. I just want to show you a little bit, just a little bit of Pat's first ever show when he did Wheel for the first time in 1981. Just a little bit. All right, so got that together, and boom. There's Pat, first time on Wheel of Fortune.
Now, here's your new host, Pat Sajak.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack Clark. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Wheel of Fortune. Please do not adjust your sets at home. Chuck Woolery has not shrunk. A lot of people are playing with a vertical hold right now. As Jack mentioned, my name is Pat Sajak, and I've been fortunate enough to wander onto the set of a very successful program, has been for a long time. One of the big reasons for that success, of course, was Chuck Woolery. Most of you know by now, Chuck has decided to leave the show to concentrate on other areas in his career. He's a very talented actor and singer and songwriter. So I want to take a minute, and I know everyone in the studio does, and all his fans around the country, to wish Chuck nothing but the best for future success and happiness. Chuck, this is for you.
There you go. And that is by TR47, and of course, NBC. I want to make sure I give credit to those guys for being able to post that type of video online. I know a lot of people feel like, you know, when you do stuff like that, could get you in trouble. And I hope I don't get you in any trouble for it. But that was 43 years ago. And a lot of people don't remember, he used to do the daytime version of Wheel of Fortune. And when that was on NBC, I know here in St. Louis, that was Channel 5 and used to be on in the morning. As a kid, I used to watch it with my grandfather. That was like one thing. I know I touched about it beforehand, but I want to touch on it again. That was something that me and my grandfather enjoyed before he passed in 1990. It was game shows. Game shows were our thing, or he did it because I liked it. He watched them because I liked them. At the time, Pat Sajak was, sitting high with the nighttime show for 6 years, and then he did the daytime show for about 8. And he wanted to do other things. And then at the time, he chose to take his career to the next level. He wanted to do a talk show. He said he always wanted to be like Johnny Carson. So he tried to do a talk show. Didn't quite work out for CBS. At the time, he was still going up against Johnny Carson, who was the king of late night at the time. So with that, it didn't quite work out, but he was able to fall back and keep his job with Wheel of Fortune. And when I heard the story about how he was selected to be the host of Wheel of Fortune, and there are many different stories about it, but Pat got the job. He was a weatherman in Tennessee, or in California, I'm sorry. And Merv Griffin, the creator of Wheel of Fortune, saw him and said he looked like he would make a great game show host. And even at the time, Pat was doing a couple of pilots and seeing if he, had the look of a host. And if you heard in the clip, Chuck Woolery had left the show, who was the first host of Wheel of Fortune, for those that did not know. Chuck was a very intricate part of why Wheel of Fortune was such a good show on daytime TV, why women loved that type of show. It was a show where you can go shop and whatnot, and it was fantastic. And I actually got to see some of the old episodes, and it's kind of weird because they used to go shopping. When you won your money, you went shopping, and you went and you purchased your prizes. And then when you didn't have enough, you either put it on account or you put it through gift certificates. And it was an interesting part of how Wheel of Fortune was done. And now when you watch Wheel, it's nothing but money. But that's the reason why it has been on for so long, since 1975. It's coming up on 50 years next year. So being on television, so that lets you know how long of a staple Wheel of Fortune has been on. And for the last 43 of those years, Pat Sajak took the role of being host of Wheel of Fortune. And I can't lie that one of my favorite years of Wheel of Fortune was the 10th anniversary. If you ever get a chance, you go to YouTube and you can check out some of the 10th anniversary episodes. Are probably some of the best gameplay I've ever seen of Wheel of Fortune. And the theme song for Wheel of Fortune is a hill I will die on. I'm serious. I will die on that hill. Go back and you check out the 92 theme song. It's probably one of the better wheel themes of all time. Probably one of the best game show themes of all time. And, watching Pat do his thing for most of my life, I would say it had to be over 35 plus years of my life. And he was able to adapt in with anybody. And I know a lot of people lately, when you've watched Wheel of Fortune, I haven't really watched a lot of Wheel as of late, because I work and stuff like that, so I don't really get to catch it. But I'm going tonight when I go to work. I'm getting a chance. I'm gonna catch some of his last show and see how that one goes down before Ryan Seacrest takes over in the fall. Yes, that's very true. The reading level has went down significantly, and I think a lot of times people looking for the viral moment, because back then Will was everything, like, to the culture of television. That's how young children learn how to read and stuff like that. And that's how foreigners that came over to this country, they had learned how to read that way. It was that cultural phenomenon. And so that was a true television program, excuse me, on which is a simple game to play. Spin the wheel, solve the puzzle. And the navigation that Pat and Vanna took it took it beyond anybody's imagination. And of course, everybody remembers how, Vanna White became a household name. It's going to be interesting today that she walks away from Wheel of Fortune. I actually thought before we got to this stage, I thought they were going to walk off the stage together. I really did. And my opinion was, when I first heard about Pat Sajak's retirement, my replacement for him was somebody totally different than Ryan Seacrest, kind of on the same rail as in hosting, and but he was an actor, and I had Mario Lopez as the next host of Wheel when they came on. What's going on, Kay? What's on, Kevin? I had Mario Lopez, and before Kiki Palmer took Password, I thought she would have made a great hostess for Wheel of Fortune, but Vanna chose to stay on. She's going to do a couple more years, and then she'll walk away. But now, with that being said, could be the next person that take over her spot. I truly believe that Pat's daughter, Maggie, is going to take that job. She fits. She's done it before. And it doesn't in Wheel terms, keeping a Sajak on Wheel of Fortune don't even seem bad. So if that's the case, that where they go, that's my prediction, that Ryan and Maggie are going to be the host and hostess when Vanna White decides to walk away from the show. But that, again, 43 years in it, has done every season of the nighttime show. And he's walking away while he still can. And that's always a good sign. When we watch Alex Trebek for years, of course, he dealt with his cancer sickness and he passed away 4 years ago, which is even more crazier as it is. But seeing hosts walk away while they're still with us is always an amazing thing. Bob Barker was able to do that. Of course, Monty Hall was able to do that when he did Let's Make a Deal. Even got to come back and do some shows and stuff like that. But that is the cool thing. I know for Trebek's case, it wasn't, but he loved the job, because that's you. And hey, there's a lot of times where people in media these days, they're trying to head to is they're going to live and they're going to die as this. It could be a media host, could be a journalist, until they're tired of doing it. But Trebek wasn't tired, he loved the job. It's just that sickness took over his body, and he succumbed to the disease. But that's the thing. If you love the job like that, there's nothing wrong with it. All right. But all the best to Pat and his tenure with Wheel. And from what I heard, that he's headed to do some plays and stuff in Hawaii. So congratulations to that. And hopefully he gets to enjoy retirement and not wander back onto the set as often as he should. But it might be the case, especially if his daughter is still part of Wheel. Yeah. You know what? When I first heard about it, we'll see how this one goes. I don't think it's going to be a bad. I think he'll know how to keep it going. He's been a game show host before, so Ryan Seacrest ain't bad. It's a bad guy in this case. So all the best to Ryan Seacrest, because he's already started filming, and Pat in his retirement. All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back with more of the show. Then we're going to talk some NBA finals. I just want to make sure I got Pat stuff in before I did. So we're going to come back with more of the show.
perfect. If you've ever struggled, if you've ever failed, if you want to get better, be better, and make our world better, this is the perfect brand for you. True Victory. Founded by U.S. military veterans, True Victory is a sportswear and streetwear brand dedicated to building everyday champions on and off the field. We're a cause. Our purpose is to transform lives and elevate humanity through the power and unity of sports, positive stories, and serving others. We're dedicated to the game, the grind, and the globe. But most importantly, we're dedicated to you. That's what it means to be always true.
Same great taste. Yes, same great taste. Same great taste.
Back on this edition of the A-Train Show, the A-Train Arlington Lane. Joining me on the program, he's back again after his Monday appearance with me on the show. Make sure that you go in, folks, and you check out our wonderful sponsors at Just Meat Jerky, W Energy Powder, and also True Victory Apparel. And then make sure that you go to McDougal Bats. You see down there at the bottom, there it is. Get you, find you the strongest wood bat ever made, and make sure you use the referral code Fuel Sports Network. But again, I'm on the program today with me, back off of his his Monday appearance, and we're going to talk a bit some NBA. We're going to talk some more wrestling again. He's the pastor of the Greater New Hope Church in Houston, Texas, aka the Praise Dome. It is Robert L. Bailey Jr. I think he's ready to rock and roll. Yeah, he's ready. Let's go. Let's bring him in. Hello,
What's
sir.
up? What's up? What's up? How you doing, man?
Good, sir. We just just had game one of the NBA Finals, and we saw the Boston Celtics just went ahead and knocked around Dallas in that first game. And what were your thoughts on that? That nice blowout, I guess, that the Celtics gave on the Dallas Mavericks.
I told you it was going to be Porzingis. I told you. I said it. And that Porzingis, I knew it because he was well rested. Yep. I knew that by the time he came back, he was going to come back with another type of stamp because the middle was open the entire time that Dallas went on that run. And so they having to deal with that was a big deal. It was a big deal. So without Porzingis in that game, I think it would have been a little different without Porzingis. However, I have to give my hat off to Jaylen Brown because, boy, He played like a monster, man. Like he played like he got a chip on his shoulder right now. So yeah, man, it was a good game. Kyrie didn't do what I thought he was gonna do, but I kind of expected it to with the environment that he's in, and then having to do the big deal with Boston stepping on the logo and kind of cursing out the people. I just kind of figured that it was gonna he got to get back in that environment and kind of know how to maneuver it. But Porzingis was the key of that thing to me. Ultimately, Porzingis was the key for me.
20 and 24 Porzingis, 20 points, 20 minutes, and especially when he came out firing in the first quarter. I'm like, man, it's gonna be a long night for the Dallas Mavericks if they can't figure out what to do with him. And I'm like, he can get any shot he wants on the floor, and so that made it very, very difficult. Jeremy says Boston in 5, Porzingis, they can't be stopped by Dallas and the white baby Luka. I know.
I don't know though. I don't know. I think they gotta. I think because Dallas have those scroungy players like Galford. Now Lively got in foul trouble like the entire game, 5 fouls, and no points at all, and that's unlikely, So you gotta understand that they're probably gonna go in and they're gonna re-strategize, because remember, playing in the previous games, they didn't have to strategize for them big boys in there with Galford, PJ, with Washington, and with Lively. They didn't have to really do no strategy to work against Rudy Gobert and all of those cats. So unfortunately, they got to plan differently now against Boston with the Porzingis, because Porzingis is a big hand in there. And so, yeah, man, they got to just plan differently. I think it. I can't. I don't know, man. If this is my only thing, if Boston wins this next game, I think it's going down in 5. I agree. If Boston wins this next game, if Dallas wins this next game, it's going 7. I'm telling you, it's going to go 7. It's going to go 7.
And this is the reason why I think it's going to go 7. Boston is a team that they love to shoot, but at the same time, they'll miss a lot of shots.
They streaky.
Exactly. And so if that happens in game 2, now they stay on fire, but you remember guys like Sam Hauser, Pritchard for Boston, those guys, they love to shoot. So if it's going to be a short series.
Yeah. I mean, Boston didn't miss much of nothing. You had was it 7 or 8 that all shot from the 3-point, that scored twice. I mean, more than twice.
Multiple threes,
from the 3-point line. Dude, that don't happen. That's history. That's history made just in that moment. So unfortunately, you end up running the risk of, could that possibly happen again? Possibly not. Especially with a streaky Boston team like that. But if them boys are playing the way they played in game 1, I don't know, man. Kyrie just got to have a great game. Lively, Guilford, like all of them gonna have to have a great game in order to win.
Right. Luka had 30, I believe.
31. Yeah, he had 31.
And then the rest of the team 39. So that's never a good look when you're trying to, help a guy out. It's going to take more than that. And you expected Kyrie to do that. But Kyrie, I think that was one of those games where he was ready, but he wasn't ready.
Yeah, that's what I said too. I said that same thing. I think he was ready to play because it is the finals, but I don't think he was really ready for that environment and for that moment. And didn't give himself enough leeway into it because of all the stuff that backs him. And, mentally, Kyrie play a mental game first before he play a basketball game.
Right. And that was the thing with it, was that Kyrie was making like mistakes that you don't normally see.
Absolutely. Turnovers.
That was, if it was that mental part that you were mentioning,
absolutely,
that he was dealing with, because I'm like sitting back like, sir, This ain't your game at all,
Yeah.
man. And you're doing this on the grandest stage of them all, the NBA Finals.
Absolutely.
But I think he's going to rebound from that. And
I do
yes,
too.
Boston is a tough place to play. Fans are obnoxious, mean, and you can say if you want to say
I agree.
racist, okay, cool.
I agree.
But my thing is that Boston have had, I'm talking about the team itself, had a hard time at certain points during the playoffs winning at home, and they would just win them on the road. But then that series against Indiana, what's going on, Rick? My H-Town fan, what's going on, baby?
What's going on, sir?
I look at this series, man. Like, I can't say this series is already over. Because Dallas knows how to rebound from that.
Absolutely.
Like that. So if
absolutely. And then let me interject here. You know, when remember, and you got to remember, Boston is so streaky, regardless to the fans, the players are so streaky. So you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what JT is you're gonna get. You don't know what Jalen you're gonna get. You have no idea what Drew Holiday you're gonna get. And so if they're all clicking like yesterday, it's done. It's they gotta all click like that. You're talking about White hitting jumpers and Drew hitting like everybody was hitting. Al Horford scored a few 3-pointers. It was almost like they were prepared to, like they did all warm-ups and shooting. Just everybody just shoot. And that's basically what happened. So you don't really see that a lot. But with Kyrie and them, I think because they have to get settled. Remember, they've lost every first game this whole entire playoff. And so, you know, with Dallas, I think they have to have that losing moment in order to kind of know, all right, these are the adjustments we need to make. And then they make those adjustments, and then it goes bananas from there. So
do you think that was like a feel out game? Like, we got to feel this out first?
Yeah, I do. I honestly do feel that way. I mean, but that's how Dallas played, though. I mean, if you notice how they played the entire playoffs, that's how they've been playing. Let me feel this out. Then they understand where they can manipulate the play, and then they start taking people out of their games. That's how they won every single game going to this point. That they watch. They'll end up watching, and I hate that for them because it puts them in a catch-up game. If that makes sense? Like, they always have to play catch-up
from behind.
But yeah, and sometimes it can be good if you know you have the dynamic to fill that void. But Porzingis coming back makes that a little more difficult because now you got to plan for him when you didn't originally have to plan for him at first. You got a plan for him, and nobody expected him to come back busting the whole clock like that. Like, he came back hitting like 3-pointers way at the diamond. So
I appreciate it. See, Josh got off work, about to get some sleep after this show is over. I couldn't miss the A-Train show. Hey, man, appreciate that. You know, that means a lot. Means a lot to me. He said what he seen from Boston in game 1. You say Boston in 5. Okay, I get that. I get that. It's going to.
I can see it.
Sunday. When we get to Sunday, when we get to game 2 is going to, I think, tell the story.
Me too.
It's going to tell the story. After
Boston go up 2, it might be a sweep, dude. I don't even know. I just don't see. I don't see Dallas. If it depends on what these numbers are, if Boston wins game 2 and the number spread, I mean, like it was yesterday, I don't know if Dallas will pull off 1. I don't know. I just don't know because of the game spread. You got to pay attention to the game spread. So I think for me, I expect Dallas to get at least 1. I do expect them to get at least 1. However, I expect them to get this next one to kind of even out the series, so we can kind of see where we want it to be a series. Like, you don't want it to be like a blowout. You want it to be a series, so it makes the final that much greater, and they're gonna make much more money.
You definitely want it to be competitive because, believe it or not, even the sweep that the Boston Celtics had in the last series against Indiana, 3 of those 4 games were all competitive.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so even in a sweep, that's cool. Like, I know we look at sweeps like, man, dang, man, like they got beat back. No, Boston
Yeah.
had to fight for those
Yeah.
wins.
Yeah,
against
I
Indiana.
agree.
So
Agreed.
that's what you want to
Agreed.
see in the series. And hopefully when this comes up, that in this series comes up, I'm looking at it to be more competitive, especially in game 2.
Me too.
I'm thinking that Kyrie is going to shake off what happened in game 2, and he's going to mentally be
Go off.
a whole better.
He gonna go
I'm telling you, he's
off.
gonna check out.
Yeah,
He's gonna,
I agree. I totally agree.
I don't think he's gonna sit there and just drop 2 like that. And even if they do, where to drop 2, me personally, I don't think it's over.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's over. I know people say 5 if they get the first 2 games. It depends on how that game goes.
Yeah.
If it's a
Game 2
blowout,
is gonna be game 2 is gonna be the deciding factor for me.
if it's a Boston blowout, then yeah, the series is gonna
Then
be short.
it's gonna be really, really short. It's gonna be extremely short. And I believe that. And I
Yeah.
was telling a friend of mine yesterday, the boys, Jared and
Yeah.
Bryce, they came in the office with me and we were sitting in there watching it. You know, Bryce is all giddy because he Boston. I'm Boston. I'm like, all right. I said, but you got to understand, we don't lose. The world don't lose if we neither team. You pretty much, whether it's Dallas or Boston, you really don't lose nothing because you're rooting for Kyrie to win without a LeBron. You're rooting for Luka because Luka is probably going to be one of the next faces of the NBA, if not already is or stepping into. And then you're rooting for Jason Tatum and for Jaylen Brown. You're hoping that they can pull this off because they've had multiple opportunities to do this. So unfortunately, I mean, for me as a basketball fan, I'm not talking about a player. I like players, but I'm a fan of basketball. And so as a fan, you want to see everybody win. And to me, there's no loser in the finals. However, you want to see one trump the other. You just want to know which way it's going to go, right? So
yeah, but you don't want to be in that stage where you make it to the finals and then you don't get back to the finals like many players in the league have done. I think for Boston, this is it for them. If they don't win the finals,
yeah,
this year,
man,
it's going to be a hard. Tatum not going to win one with the Celtics. He'll have to go elsewhere to win another title.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a break and then we're going to come back. Game 1. We're going to talk some wrestling because I want to talk about some Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair and stuff, man. You know how much we love them, man. So we're coming up after the break.
I got me a new boo now. Shout out to Jada Parker, baby. Jada Parker.
Oh, snap. All right. I hear you talking. We're going to come back in just a couple of minutes. We'll be back with more of the show right after this. This is the A-Train Show right here on Fuel Sports Network.
want to talk about.
Back on this edition of the A-Train Show, the A-Train Arlington Lane. Thanks to our wonderful sponsors over at True Victory Apparel, Just Meat Jerky, and W Energy Powder. Joining me on the program is Robert L. Bailey Jr., of course, the pastor of Greater New Hope Church in Houston, Texas, and he's been kind enough to talk some NBA Finals. And then we're going to talk about something that we love the most. We talk wrestling.
Yes, sir.
We talk wrestling here.
Yes, sir.
We big fans of WWE as it is, and we're getting closer to Clash of the Castle. Well, I'd say one of my favorites right now has been Jade Cargill, her coming over to WWE and be able to make the transition. I think she said herself that she didn't expect her to be in title hunts and getting titles ever so quickly. She thought she was going to be rising just like any other superstar. But yet, right now, she's at the top of the food chain when it comes to those tag team titles.
Yeah. Yep.
How long do you think that these girls can have a run with those titles? Do you think they can go all the way to next year with the Rumble? You think it's going to be SummerSlam or even next year's Mania?
I mean, right now, I think they can run for a good minute. The reason being because what other tag team tandem do you see competing with them or against them? I think they can make this run for a good minute. But here's the thing: I think they need to make sure that Jade is not just the dominant Jade that she was in AEW. They need to make her the finessed Jade, and I think that's why they put her with Bianca to give her the entertainment side. Yeah, the entertainment side of it, because she would just go in and dominate everybody. But now you got to give her the finesse side of it to kind of balance her out. So I think it's working out that both of them are together, and I think they did great by pairing her instead of giving her the first title run to the championship, women's championship. I think it was great to pair her with somebody, let her get a feel of what it feels like, and then because you can't take her from the greatest title run of AEW to nothing. Like you almost kind of shelf her and make her have to build up to that. I think the WWE did great by giving her a title with somebody to keep her develop while she's there. And then once they break them up, now her title run can be pretty much dominant.
Good Doctor says keep titles on them till Jade is ready to be a credible single star. Then you have them feud.
Absolutely, man. That was my point exactly. That's exactly what I would do. That's exactly what I would do.
So you saying a nice long credible run. You said before the break. Now you said before the break your new boo is now Jada Parker in NXT.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How did that come about, man?
Man, listen. I was watching Jada Parker for a minute, but I don't really think I paid attention to her until this match. It was the match right before this last one of the qualifier. And man, she smashed. Like she went in there and smashed. I mean, not only is she beautiful, but I mean, like she smashed it all together. And so my thing was, I'm like, okay, this will be great to put her in this running for this NXT European Championship run, and then to watch how they're trying to cultivate her. I think it's going to work out well with her coming into her own as a champion eventually, being the NXT Women's Champion. I think they're going to work her into it because she's not only beautiful, she's not only powerful, but the girl has very good finesse as it relates to the ring itself. So she became one of my new favorite top 5 favorite females.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. That's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. No.
And she fine. And she fine. I gotta just be honest. She fine. I mean,
I'm starting to see a lot more of that these days in sports. Period.
Yeah.
women. You know, you still. I'm not calling nobody out. I'm just saying I'm seeing a evolving of how women are being looked at now. They still can look classy, they still can look fine, and they still can beat you up if they need to. Because
Absolutely.
honestly, I looked at Jordan Grace on
Jordan Grace too.
NXT. I
Yeah,
said,
man.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
I was like, all
Yeah.
right, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, you
Yeah.
looking at Becky Lynch, you know, you're seeing what you're
I
seeing.
even like Lola Vice. I like Lola Vice. I like her for her beastiness, man. Just having that Shayna
Hey,
Baszler kind of a attitude, but then still kind of sexy and suave kind of thing. I love it. Like, I mean, just watching that bringing sexy and strong at the same time makes that's what makes a solid woman to me, is having the sex appeal, but then still knowing I'm strong and I can handle my own kind of a
yeah.
thing.
And I think what we're about to see on Sunday at NXT Battleground with this Jordan Grace and Roxanne Perez match, this is the biggest, and I don't think people really realize how big this
Yeah.
match really is.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, this is just me thinking and being rumored and speculating, I really
Okay.
think that WWE is about to have a good relationship with TNA, because it's happened already. It happened in St. Louis when they had Mickie James at the Royal
Yep.
Rumble. She was a
Yep.
TNA knockout champ. Then they brought in Jordan Grace this past up in January when
Yep.
they brought her in for the Royal Rumble, and now you're bringing her again in
I
June.
agree.
And you have many that's already been in WWE, like Nick Nemeth, and you had AJ Francis,
AJ.
you know, like this TNA thing, bringing it into WWE. I would not be surprised if they went and acquired TNA.
I wouldn't be surprised either. And knowing The Rock and knowing Triple H, I kind of believe that that's kind of the direction they were going. It's that, for AEW called it the forbidden door. That's that forbidden door that where somebody is from another company can cross into the other company and have a wrestling match for the sake of ratings, for the sake of strengthening that particular brand. It not only strengthens one brand, it strengthens both. So now you're getting people who wasn't familiar with TNA, that's only WWE fans that are now about to watch TNA because of that reason. So that forbidden door is really, really what makes all of this so unique. I thought about when WWE took over WCW. You remember that forbidden door was there on a regular basis, but nobody ever opened the door.
Right.
Bischoff said, I made the worst mistake I could have ever made when I didn't open the door when WWE came and knocked on it.
And they knocked on it.
When Triple H and DX came and knocked on that door, they should have opened that door. It would have opened that forbidden door, and then we could have had a clash of the Titans. Even with them buying them out, that could have been a company clash of the Titan. It would have just been so dope. So,
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Said would love to see Speedball Bailey in NXT. I get you. Said Grace is damn good. TNA needs WWE to keep afloat. Listen, if that's what it takes, man, like, because here's my issue with AEW. AEW has the talent. Granted, a lot of people feel like all of them are washed up. They don't know how to do stories. You need a guy.
You need that storyline.
Stories.
Yeah, man.
You need an actual guy to do stories, and then they all can buy into those. Like Khan needs to remove himself as a on-air talent. You're not that guy. You're a fan just like everybody else, dude. And you need to bring in somebody that can actually write a story and make it work for you.
He's trying to do what Vince did.
And you can't do that. You're too early in, man. Just because you got the money, cool, that's fine. But you trying to do that, and what you're doing is ruining your product.
He is, and he don't understand that. But I mean, you got to understand, WWE always survived off of storylines. Me and you talk about that all the time. Without the right story, you're pretty much going to kill the brand altogether if it's just only centered around wrestling. So you get a Jade Cargill who ain't really mic heavy, and you need to put him. I mean, I'm game for it. Whatever. You put a Jade Cargill on the mic. She's not as mic heavy as she was at AEW. She didn't have to do that. She just come out and just dominate, and everybody just love her.
Where that's what I wanted her to be when she first got to WWE. I didn't want her to be a mouthpiece because she all she had to do was show up.
Show up. That's it. That's it.
When she was doing those little NXT vignettes and she was just popping in, that's all she had to do. She ain't had to say nothing.
Say nothing. Nothing. Yep.
Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. And that would everybody was captured because they wanted to know what was going to happen next when she showed up. And
because they seen her dominate over there. Like they've seen her be dominant. So there's no reason. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Man, I gotta ask you this question. What do you think about these vignettes from these QR codes? Have you even seen them all?
Yes,
I've been
downloading all of them.
Oh my goodness, man. But I downloaded every last one of them, dude.
If they're doing what I think they're doing, they trying to really pinpoint and spot when they do this because they want to do it right. Yeah, and they want to make sure they can close out.
It's got to be at a good, it's got to be at a good, be at a good pace. And I think they're doing the right thing by putting these vignettes. But the problem I have though is that there is no appearance of who's running them. So we don't know if they're using Joe Gacy or if they're using Bo Dallas. We have no idea. So now we got to figure this out because Joe Gacy been gone for a good minute. And I'm like,
Bo Dallas, Bo Dallas, man. Listen, Bo Dallas is still on is an employee for WWE. That's been stated. They just haven't said anything about it. But a lot of people are already kind of putting in that he's going to be Uncle Howdy.
No, that's true. That's true from the Bray Wyatt documentary. Yeah. At the very end of the documentary, they showed this mask with him. So dude, it's crazy because they're talking about all of them, and there's been rumors and speculations about Joe Gacy, about Alexa Bliss coming back. Alexa just had her baby, so now trying to get her back into the culture, and from what I hear now, she's back in training to kind of get back in the ring. So
Sister Abigail.
Dude, this is about to be, and then there's no sign of what's the girl that started turning crazy?
Nikki Cross, you talking about?
Nikki Cross. There's no sign of Nikki Cross. You still got what's the name? They used to crawl on his hands. Man, it slipped my head. It slipped my head.
It did.
That never said anything. That never said anything. He never said anything. Loomis, Dexter Loomis. You still got Dexter Loomis. So it's a lot of these turns that can kind of make this a great storyline. And to compete with the Bloodline, they're gonna need that storyline to match all of that. I think it's gonna be great, dude. I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Listen, we got Battleground coming up. We got Clash at the Castle and then Money in the Bank in July.
I think that's when it's gonna happen. I think that's when it's gonna happen. Money in the Bank. I do. I don't feel like it's gonna happen in Clash at the Castle. It's not a big enough showcase. I think it's gonna happen at Money in the Bank, or it's gonna happen at Backlash.
I think she's still there, Kevin. She's still there. She just same way like Bo Dallas.
Yeah, they all closed.
Them under wraps.
Yeah, they all closed off. That's why Joe Gacy ain't said nothing. That's why Dexter Loomis has not been seen since he picked up Indy. The last little match that Indy got hurt, he picked her up. Remember, he was under the ring, picked her up, and took her out. And they changed his eye color. And I said, oh, okay. Now, see, I can see this. Now, but I think all of them are still there. I didn't see where they got released. I think all of them are still there. I just think that they got them closed off right now so they can build this big. Because Uncle Howdy is coming with all of them. Remember, he said we all. So it ain't just one. I think it's going Uncle Howdy is gonna manage the whole and make them be the animals, the pig, the crow. Like I think they are all gonna be a part of the element of that. That's what I think.
Can we see something similar to the Acolytes? Now, what I mean by that, as a group that has gone on for like a year, maybe 2 years, just causing massive destruction
Yeah,
in WWE, even in NXT. It ain't gotta stop. And it could go if they choose to partner and or deal anything with TNA, throw them in there too.
yeah, man.
Cause chaos.
That'd be
Like,
the forbidden door. Go
oh
in
my
there and just
God.
rip up everybody and just have them just causing so much chaos, and you don't know where they're coming from and what's going on. So I think it would be great.
Listen, the day that
Strowman ain't gonna be Howdy.
wait,
Nah.
no. He said he'll be with him. And this is the reason why I
He
say
probably
that.
will.
It's
Yeah.
because it's going to be a moment where you thinking Strowman, he's this big face, and all of a sudden, it's almost like he just turned.
I can kind of see that. I can see that though. I can see that. No, I can see that.
Yo,
Because remember, he was the black sheep. Remember, he was the black sheep. So yeah, I can see that. No, I can definitely see that.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Like, listen, this there's
It's
like
gonna
this
be
was like,
good.
dude, oh man. Like, that's why I kind of like the setup of what WWE is continuing to do. I know we sit back and we look at the whole thing with the bloodline. It's that long-term storytelling. It's the same thing being told right now with this Liv Morgan situation with Dominic
and Rhea. Yeah, that's gonna be a good little piece.
Let Buddy Murphy come back just for kicks and laughs.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And you bring him
let
back,
that whole crew come back. What about that whole crew though? With Aleister Black? What about that whole crew? Let that whole crew come over just for one time only, and do this massive thing with Uncle Howdy. Like, I mean, it could be so crazy. Like, we getting back to the dark side. You remember when Undertaker had like we getting back to that. That's what make the whole thing worth it, man. So, and AEW and TNA don't have storylines like that. They have arguments and disagreements.
That's what captivates all the time, man. Like, that's
absolutely.
What captivates.
Them storylines make you dive in, and you like, man, I didn't know I was disinvested. Yeah, because I wasn't invested in the bloodline at first. I was like, man, this is a mess. Then I looked up, I said, wait a minute, this is about to turn into something greater, which is why I believe that The Rock and Roman got to have that. Like, exactly. that head of the table thing got to be done. So yeah, I love all this.
Somebody mentioned that the Tribal Chief should be coming back July 19th.
Yikes.
You know, I'm supposed to take a break. I ain't taking no break. This is gonna be the rest of the show, man. The rest of the show. I can't do it. Because I'm too invested. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, man.
Like, listen, because I'm sitting back and I'm like, okay, and I got to go back to Jordynne Grace, Roxanne Perez, because we didn't say anything. Imagine Jordynne Grace winning against Roxanne Perez.
Ooh. Now, I didn't think about that. So how would she get the title back?
Well,
except for having to go to TNA to do it.
You remember what you said? It was about ratings. This is about bringing in more eyeballs to and she come into TNA with that title belt, with that NXT Women's title belt. Oh my gosh! I'm like, it would go through the roof.
It would. It would be, because now, oh man, now that would be a crazy storyline too. Having her to try to go and fight for it back, or having somebody to go and try to fight for it back. Since if she goes over there and loses again, then who would step up to go and say, no, I got it. We need to bring our title back home.
Yes.
That camaraderie between the two would be down. It would be down. It would be
love.
That would be that. That would be dope.
I would love. Yeah, and no, I didn't dig the AJ doing the same thing as Mark Henry and Big Show. I didn't care too much for that.
Yeah,
but I get where he was coming from with that. Like, listen,
man,
we got so much here. With like, I would not mind seeing TNA and NXT doing run-ins on their opposite shows.
Okay.
I don't even know if TNA is still if they're taping or they're going live. I think they're doing live.
I think they
shows
just
now.
doing live. They doing live shows. I don't think they're doing any type of
run-ins and stuff. Oh my, because you already got the people there for
yeah,
it. Man.
Yeah. And just have them just pop up, just show up like they do in NXT. Everybody just pop up.
Oh
yeah, so many possibilities. That's why I told you we need to call WWE and write them and let them know we got some storyline guys over here that all they need to do is give us a pen and paper. We can put some storylines together. I can make this thing work.
Dude, we be sitting there throwing paper at each other, man.
Yeah, I can make this thing work, man. It can be so dope to have everybody invested in all of this, man.
He said Dom gonna be like, live, will you marry
I
me?
know. All right. No, having Buddy Murphy come over, man, after that
will she come
like,
back?
Yeah, that'll be so crazy. Yeah.
Like, listen,
yeah.
That's what's the cool thing about many of these stories that we have, because we have them. You don't like this is probably, if you're not a wrestling fan, you definitely want to tune in, because these stories that they got, golly, dog, they get crazier by the minute.
Yeah. And it's cool though. It's cool because it makes WWE has been trending number one in the box now based on the storylines that are coming out. And I think we just got to close those things and make sure that that all of them, that bloodline can stay open. The family, the Wyatt family thing can stay open. Like everything can just stay open.
All right, one last thing before I get you out of here is, what about this whole ordeal with Karrion Kross? Karrion Kross now has been more of a manager. Me personally, you know how big, I got to go back to Roxanne Perez really quick. Booker T should be Roxanne's manager.
Should.
Flat out.
Agreed.
Okay, I want to get that out of the way. Now, Karrion Kross is manager, because we only got a couple of minutes. Karrion Kross being more of a manager than he is a wrestler, picking his spots when he want to come in and stuff like that. How you feel about that one?
Now, I actually like Karrion Kross when he was just a single wrestler. Me personally, I like, man, they built him up so big in NXT, and then they dumped him. Of course, they was getting ready to fire him, hire him back, that kind of thing with the Vince McMahon stuff. I really like AOP. I really like AOP for to have championships around their waist. But I think Karrion Kross as a manager wrestler, I don't think it works out well for me. I don't like it. I like AOP though, and they already have a manager. So what will be the significant point, right? You know what I'm saying? So why would you keep him as a manager / wrestler if you already have a manager that's managing the whole entire squad?
Gotcha.
Like, it just don't add no value to me.
Yo, I need another hour, man, because this is getting good. I wish it didn't have to end this way, but we do, because I only get an hour's time.
Yeah,
but, hey, sir, thank you so much.
Always, man. Anytime.
Them on Instagram at Praise Dome Pastor, and then make sure that you also find him on the church is GreaterNewHopeChurch.org. All right. Hey,
what it is.
You want to come back on Monday, Friday? Because look, this day,
whenever you tell me,
man.
You tell me when. You tell me when I'm here. You tell me when I'm coming.
Bet. All right.
Bet.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's Pastor Robert L. Betty Jr. I'm the A-Train. We're going to sign off. We're going to catch you guys for another edition of the A-Train Show. I think they want to see more of us, so we'll see what happens.
Let's
so
get
long
it.
For now. All right. Y'all take care. 2 fingers.
Peace and hair grease. Let's go.